This is Detroit, and this is big fight time. The Joe Louis Arena, Naseem Hamed there meeting Cesar Soto tonight. A dangerous opponent we know already, but Naseem's bigger struggle is to prove to America that he really is the star he promised to become. And in this hall tonight, we're going to know a great deal more about where Naseem's long-term destiny as a boxing star really lies. The long-awaited featherweight unification match, WBO and WBC versions of the crown, two world champions going into this big fight with all the baggage you might expect and all the tension that focused on the weigh-in.
It was all chaotic and quite ridiculous. Confusingly, there were two sets of scales provided. Naz weighed in without problems. But on the electronic digital scales, Soto was over the 9-stone featherweight limit by 13 ounces. Even though on the other scales, old-fashioned ones provided by promoter Cedric Kushner, he was bang on the limit. The problem was that those scales were not necessarily accurate because they hadn't been calibrated. Amid protests, Soto was allowed to get away with it, and Naz was furious.
All I want to know is how can a guy get on the scales right, weigh a pound over the weight, come off it, and the supervisors or whoever tell him, no problem, that's all right. You're 26, you 126. That don't happen in England. That don't happen in any of my career. I've never seen that in my life. Now listen, I ain't mad, because I know, I looked at his body, he's no way in the same condition as I am. No way, you've seen it for yourself, right? I don't care now, it's gone. That's 1 pound I've given him. All I want him to do is struggle and give him pain to get that 1 pound off, because that's what he deserves. He never made the weight. Never made the weight. Nah, he must fall.
The fact that we had two sets of scales is something that I have never experienced before, and it should never again be permitted to happen. So one set of scales was about a half a pound difference than the other. So in one case, Soto made weight on one, 126, and the other ones he was maybe a half a pound over. And as a result of that, naturally the scene, that's the one he wants to go by, is the one that's where Soto was all over. But the fight will go on. It's not going to be any problem.
Soto never was required to weigh in again, when by rights he could have lost his WBC crown on the scales. It was a fiasco.
See, people will look at that, won't they, from the outside of boxing and say, well, it all looks a bit dodgy and looks like they're making up the rules as they go along.
Well, we've been using these rules for 25 years in the state of Michigan, and Cedric Kushner did bring in the scale.
So the fight is on, and it is for the two championships, as far as you're concerned.
Yes.
Duke McKenzie, a fiasco or just something that we just put down to the way they try to sell
just hard
a big
sell.
fight?
Just hard sell. I don't think there's no kind of problem with Soto making them out. I wouldn't have thought, you know. The guy's been training for like weeks for this fight, and you know, it would be totally unprofessional on his part to come in like 13 ounces over the weight. I don't think that's. I don't think it's just nonsense.
You almost suggested to us, I think on Thursday, that it may well happen because we have a WBC champion.
Sure. With
all the kudos that surrounds the WBC title on one side, and Naseem, who's the WBO champion, on the other, and they both are fighting for turf, if you like.
Sure. What I'd like to know is where have these two separate independent pairs of scales come from? You know, surely both the boxing commission should have come together to supply one official scales like they do at every other fight. I mean, I've never heard of like two sets of scales being supplied at any championship fight.
Chris Eubank, what did you make of what you detected there in Naseem Hamed's mental state, his readiness?
Well, you see, now Bob Arum, being the promoter who looks after Soto, would have it so Naseem would be a little bit upset in regards to what happened with the scales. Now that is the job of the promoter, to actually use his 30% of influence before the fight starts, and that's why I explained to Riaz and as his brother that he should have Barry Hearn watching his back, because I don't think Cedric Kushner, comparing to Bob Arum, have the power that Bob Arum does. And you see, in Naz actually biting and talking about it, it's a little distraction. And that's all the promoter of Soto wants to do, is to slightly distract him. which is it's all in the business. The fighter takes care of about 70% of the fight. When he's in front of the man he's fighting, he takes care of that, but that's only 70% or 60%. The promoter takes care of the other 30 or 40% in regards to mental games, if you will.
Fascinating, thank you. Let's get Lennox Lewis' version of events now. He's with Ian Darke in Detroit.
Thank you, Paul. Well, it's freezing cold now in Detroit outside the arena. The build-up still going on here. And by the miracles of modern science, we can whisk you a little way across America to the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania, where Lennox Lewis, of course, is preparing for his big rematch with Evander Holyfield, which is just 3 weeks away now. And, of course, Lennox has been working alongside Prince Naseem Hamed in the build-up to his fight. So, good evening to you, Lennox.
Good evening. How you doing?
Very well indeed. Now tell me, what's it been like working alongside the Prince?
It's been great. He's definitely added some excitement to my camp because I've been up here like about 6 times already, and it's great having him up here because we kind of feed off each other, and he's just got some great energy, and you know, it was a great having him up here at camp with me.
Before we talk about you and your build-up with Holyfield, what do you think is going to happen here tonight in the fight against Cesar Soto?
Soto's going to get beat up. I mean, Prince is looking better than I've ever seen him. I mean, this coming to my training camp and working alongside with me, it just made some avid improvements in him. He's just had some great energy, feels great about it, and I know he's going to bust him up.
Did you ever think of maybe just breaking training for one day and flying to Detroit?
I was thinking of it, but you know, my mother and two of my friends went alongside her to add some support.
Now then, tell me, how's your build-up going to the Holyfield fight? I hear you're looking very sharp.
Well, I feel good. I'm feeling very confident. I'm very focused. You know, I've been in training camp for quite a while now, and it's not somebody that I'm boxing that I don't know. I've been in the ring with him already, so I know what to expect and I know what I'm training for.
Holyfield's been saying that he knows what he did wrong the last time and the next time it'll be different, but is that all just pre-fight talk? What do you think?
He's just talking, yo. He doesn't live up to reality, he doesn't speak reality. All I know is in deep trouble in this fight.
Are you looking this time to put it beyond all doubt, so there is no judging controversy, to knock him out this time? Is that your plan?
Yeah, I'm going to knock out Evander Holyfield. My main goal is just to go in there and win, and if a knockout presents itself, I'll definitely take advantage of it. I'm looking to step up the pace a bit more and see if he can deal with my onslaught of punches I'm going to be giving to him.
A quick word, Lennox, too, about Mike Tyson. He wants to fight you as well after the Holyfield thing. Is he still part of your agenda, Tyson?
Well, Mike Tyson has to keep himself quiet right now. He has to get through his next fight. Right now, I'm thinking of Evander Holyfield and my undisputed belts.
Okay, nice to talk to you, Lennox. Thanks a lot.
All right.
There we are. He's going very well indeed, and the build-up goes on here. We're looking forward to Naz and Soto. It's getting ever closer. Back to you, Paul.
Only 3 weeks to Lennox Lewis against Evander Holyfield as they meet again for the undisputed world heavyweight title. This is a special event on Sky Box Office on November the 13th. Before that, on Saturday night this week, Mike Tyson returning against All in Norris. You can see it with us from midnight on Sky Sports Extra. And before that, Richie Woodall against Marcus Baer for the WBC World Super Middleweight title. Saturday fight night from 10 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. And they're all after their place in history, of course. Naseem Hamed would love to be regarded as one of the finest featherweights of all time. He believes he's on course to do that and join with this selection of some of the true greats. Henry Armstrong, Homicide Hank, world featherweight champion in the 30s, simultaneously also held titles at lightweight and welter, a span of 21 pounds. But some say Willie Pep was the greatest ever. He had 242 pro fights before losing 3 out of 4 against Sandy Sadler. There was the Mexican legend Vicente Saldivar, who won the title at 21, the first of 2 reigns. Alexis Arguello won the WBA title in 1974 and became a 3-weight champion. Danny Lopez, a thunderous puncher who held the WBC title for 4 years. Salvador Sanchez, the man who took his title, aged 21, but sadly he died in a car crash. His main WBA rival of the time, Eusebio Pedrosa, who made 19 defences before losing to Barry McGuigan. And then there was Azuma Nelson, the WBC feather and super featherweight champion from the 80s. is quite a list. And no McGuigan I see there. And Nicky Piper also points out no mention of the Welshman Jim Driscoll, who was the first, one of the first great stars in Welsh boxing before the First World War.
Yeah, he started off at lighter than that, but yeah, was a great fighter, great boxer, and he's remembered by a new statue in Cardiff, so he'll always be famous.
Your division, Duke. Who else should have been on that list for you, apart from Mackenzie, of course?
Well, I didn't actually win the Featherweight Championship, so, you know. Excuse me. I think, obviously, Brad McGuigan was an outstanding featherweight champion of our modern era, you know. Certainly for me.
To this point, where does Naseem Hamed come in all of this? Does he come close to being on that list?
Not yet, no. Because some of the names you just mentioned there, Salvador Sanchez, Azuma Nelson, you know, Danny Little Red Lopez, those guys are like, they're icons in this sport, you know, they're just real special fighters. They've beaten some of the best fighters in that weight division, and Naz, for me, just not yet. Just hasn't beaten some of the top featherweights in the world. So tonight this is about beating, you know, on paper at least, his rival, his equal.
Naseem Hamed, let's remind ourselves, has already won 2 versions of this featherweight title. They didn't last long as a unified championship, but he beat Tom Johnson to become IBF champion as well as WBO champion. One of his best performances, I'm told, by those who know Nicky. Would that be fair?
Yes, I think so. And the uppercut that he finished Johnson off with was absolutely fantastic. But he's always open to counters, and he's got to be very careful. I'm hoping tonight we'll see a more polished performance, back to the good boxing ability.
Chris, was this Naseem Hamed at or near his peak to date at this time? Going back a couple of years?
No. I mean, this peaking idea that the so-called experts talk about, I don't understand. You know, sometimes you perform well and sometimes you don't. I mean, for the critic to expect a fighter to perform wonderfully or fantastically every fight is really unrealistic. I believe Naz has the potential, and the wonderful thing about boxing, I suppose, for the enthusiasts, is that you will be asked to bare your soul. You will be asked to prove yourself by a fighter in the ring at some point. No man steps into water or hot water and gets his feet and not get his feet wet.
Duke McKenzie, just relive with us your world title match against Cesar Soto. We referred to it slightly earlier in the evening. This was the second of your world title wins. This for the WBO bantamweight title,
right,
from
yeah.
memory.
This was
1991.
Yeah.
And he was only a boy at this stage, or a little more than that.
Oh yeah, he was in my face pretty much for the whole fight, but
You're only a kid yourself, of
well,
course.
yeah, I was just a spring chicken, you know, but I could.
thin chicken.
Yeah, and now I'm a fat chicken. You know, I tried to box when he wanted to fight and fight when he wanted to box, and just gave him a lot of lateral movement. Just used my brain pretty much and just outmanoeuvred the guy when I really needed to. He caught me with some fabulous right hands, and like I say, the salvo of punches that he's trying to unload on me now, at times was just a little bit too much, but you know, I did what I had to do to win.
All for the winner, and still
and you did it.
Victory.
But
you know, that was on my part. Not only was it a good fight, obviously for me, but a fabulous bit of matchmaking. Cause,
clear victory as well.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Pulled it off, and but like I say, it was a nice bit of matchmaking by my then manager, and we knew it was going to be a tough fight. Even before the, you know, obviously before the fight.
Here's how our experts tonight see Naseem Hamed against Cesar Soto. Soto now in his prime at the age of 28, of course. But all our team believe Naseem Hamed will unify again, this time becoming WBO and WBC champion. Ian Darke, Nicky Piper, Barry McGuigan and Jim Watt all going for the long route by points. Glenn McCrory and Adam Smith by stoppage. We've had lots and lots of faxes and emails throughout the evening. I'm just going to give you a sample of the public opinion on this fight. Andy and Chris have been in touch, serving with the British Army in Germany. Naseem has got to produce his best, they say. He'll pull out his experience for this one, and he will beat him in the third, or at least they hope that. Naseem Hamed is destined for world superiority and will turn out the lights for Soto in round 7. Steve Davis from Newcastle, Nicola Parnell from Manchester. Naseem will win in 5 rounds. His speed, agility and pace will be too much for a one-paced Soto. Naseem Hamed has taken the wrong fight against Soto, says Damian Jones. Hamed will be knocked out by a left hook in the 7th round from Soto. Does he know something we don't? I think he told us all about the fight there. Prince Naseem will be introduced to the harshness of reality, says Pete Norstedt from Peterborough. Soto to win by knockout in the 10th round. So it's by no means all one way here. Fight prediction here from Mark in Oldham. Soto's sheer volume of punches will take their toll. A 10th round KO in favour of Cesar Soto. And Sam Shearer, 14 years of age from Bristol. Naseem Hamed will win by knockout or TKO in 8 rounds. But it's been a very mixed set of opinions so far, even though our so-called experts think that Naseem Hamed will take another step forward tonight. That coming after our first scheduled world title match, which is not far away now. And this will feature the brilliant Eric Morales, the youngster from Mexico, WBC World Super Bantamweight champion, up against Belfast's Wayne McCulloch. Two world champions head-to-head now at featherweight, WBO and WBC. And for Naseem Hamed, his chance to take the big step in America and prove what he's been telling us on this side of the Atlantic for the last 5 years, that he is one on his own. What sort of a fight is this one going to be, Chris Eubank?
There will be a result at the end of this one.
You mean there won't be a draw here tonight?
No, this is not a drawing fight. Naz, the biggest problem Naz has is that he wants to look good. He shouldn't concentrate on trying to look good. He should concentrate on winning the fight. Now, Naz is going to have to use that very unorthodox uppercut he uses. He's going to have to come through the middle. This fellow will follow him everywhere, and he will continue to follow him. Now, we don't know of this fellow's constitution. He's never really been knocked down. He's never been knocked out. He'll be there in the later rounds, and so Naz is going to look good for the first 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. Perhaps he can stop him in these early rounds, but in the later rounds, this fellow will be pressing. Watch for Soto's left hook to the body. Naz does carry his arm sometimes out of sync in regards to his rib cage. Watch for the left hook to the body. Watch for the double left hook of Soto, where he goes to the body and comes up to the head. And watch for Naz's. Naz will be, I expect, brilliant to begin with in regards to speed. And precision. But after 6 rounds of a man continually pressing you, that's where it may get extremely tough. And also watch for the winging punches that Soto throws. Overhand rights, overhand lefts, and long shots. Naz has a tendency to get caught because he leaves his head up high when backing out. As he gets caught, as I watched the fight he had with Kelly just yesterday, when he got caught going back, he was momentarily out and recovered, well, before he hit the ground and then got up, obviously, and went on to stop Kelly. A very interesting fight. Naz has it all to do, and it's going to be tough.
Cesar Soto, Robert McCracken, for you, is he equipped to take Naseem Hamed's title off him?
Of course he's equipped. It's, as I said earlier, it's deep waters now for Naseem Hamed, with, you know, Soto, Morales, Barrera, etc. I expect Naseem Hamed to have prepared properly. I think he knows what he's up against. I do expect him to win, but it's going to be hard.
Nicky, briefly, please. What do you expect to happen?
I agree with Chris. It could go early either way. They're both big punchers who've had lots of early knockouts. It'll probably go late, and we'll soon see how Naz's training's improved. Is he going to be fit this time?
And Duke McKenzie, finally.
Well, you know, I fancy in this one, Paul. And show me a Mexican that doesn't know how to cut off the ring. You know, I think he'll close Hamed down and just try and work him over.
Thank you. They're on the way. Let's rejoin Glenn McCrory and Ian Dart.
Thank you, Paul. There he comes, Cesar Soto, Cobrita, the little cobra from Mexico. He's been around as a professional since he was 15 years old, and he's 28 now. And as you've been hearing, never cut, never flawed, never stopped. a tough little hombre. And his camp believe that if Naseem Hamed makes the mistakes he's made in, say, the Kevin Kelly fight, Soto will stop him with his dangerous left hooking. I think this might be the toughest fight, possibly, of Hamed's career. Certainly on paper, anyway, beforehand. If he stops this guy, it really will be something.
Yes, I think it could be. It needs to be a very good Hamed to beat a really on-form Cesar Soto.
And here comes Hamed with the Motown sound of the old Temptations hit. Get ready. Funny thing is, Hamed's probably too young to even remember the tune.
Well, it doesn't matter. We're in Detroit, aren't we?
But I'm not. No sign of Aretha Franklin or Martha and the Vandellas. Tommy Hearns is here, though. Don't think he did any singing. This entrance we're going to see tonight costs $45,000 to put together.
When I do what I do what I'm doing, but I'm doing it like I'm doing it for TV. Keep your hands up. Put your hands up. Come on. Keep your hands up. Way back. Put your hands up. We back again. Keep your hands up. We back. I remember the days of praying when shit be right. Louis the 13 on my kryptonite. Rolling me is like Superman and kryptonite. So I pray I don't miss my flight. Switch tonight. Get out the plane, it all looks strange. See a man from Spain, holding up my name. Get my things and head down and I'm claiming.
Hey, you hold up!
Look right, look fast, look left, look right. Look great, look mean, don't look nice. They try to tell me, honey, don't look right. So I approach her, it's all the kosher. But there was kids running up with posters. And I was trying to do a sight.
While all this is going on, Cesar Soto, who knows all about Naseem Hamed ring entrances, just stands there quietly. He says he's prepared to do it for half an hour if necessary. Might be that long as well. Well, this is all part of Naseem Hamed's psychological preparation.
Liam, there's a sign on the wall in the crunk which says attitude, a little thing that makes a big difference. Well, Naseem Hamed, he has it in abundance.
Of course, the Americans love this kind of showmanship. That's why he's become big news over here. This time the build-up in America has all gone right. But will the fight go right as well? He's trained properly, his media relations have been exemplary, he's matured, he's even shown humility. But what about the ring performance? It'll all count for nothing unless he can go out and really prove himself with a big performance tonight against this Cesar Soto. I don't think he's ever been more comfortable in America than he is here in Detroit. And should he come through okay tonight, I think he might be back here as well for future title fights. Big support from the local Arab population who bought many of the tickets. Naz's Yemeni background, remember. And they've done an old-fashioned sell of this fight locally too. It's a very fascinating one. And our MC is Michael Buffer. When his microphone starts to work, it will be anyway.
Cedric Kushner Promotions and Prince Promotions Incorporated. Assalamu alaikum. Along with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. In association with Top Rank Incorporated, present Champion versus Champion. 12 rounds of boxing for the Featherweight Championship of the World. Sanctioned by the State of Michigan Boxing Commission, along with the WBC and the WBO. Michigan Commission Chairman David Sebastian, physicians at ringside, Dr. Ralph Sachs, Dr. Evan Ferris, timekeeper and counting for the knockdowns, Joe Collins and Dale Kalinowski. WBC President Jose Suleiman, WBC Supervisor at ringside Steve Crossan, WBO President Francisco Paco Barcarcel, and WBO Supervisor Gordy Volkman. The 3 judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Dario Chiarini, Mike Liena, and Chuck Hassett. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Dale Grable. And now for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. From the Joe Louis Arena, Detroit, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with leopard trim. He weighs 126 pounds, and he brings a perfect professional record to the ring consisting of 32 bouts. 32 victories, including 29 by knockout. With 2 world title belts, he is considered by many to be, pound for pound, among the best in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, from Sheffield, England, presenting the reigning and defending undefeated WBO Featherweight Champion of the World, Prince Naseem. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red, trimmed with gold letters, and weighing in also at 126 pounds. He has an outstanding professional record in 62 bouts. He has 53 victories, including 39 knockouts, with 7 defeats and 2 draws. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros de Juarez, Mexico, presenting the reigning and defending WBC Featherweight Champion of the World, Cesar Soto.
Gentlemen, you're giving your instructions in the dressing room. Listen to my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Good luck to both of you. Touch them up.
So Naseem Hamed in with a really live opponent in this Cesar Soto, who holds the WBC version of the Featherweight Championship. He's making his first defense, having dethroned the long-reigning Luisito Espinosa. Hamed's 13th defense of the WBO title. He's held it for 4 years since taking it away from the Welshman Steve Robinson. So what happens here? Can Hamed zip back into his best form after some indifferent performances in recent contests? Will new trainer Emmanuel Stewart help to make the difference? Fast hands from Hamed. Soto, though, massively experienced. him with uppercuts and left hooks if he gets close enough to land them against the eel like Hamed. Soto has won 30 fights inside the first 3 rounds. He might even be dangerous early.
Soto, very good chin. He keeps that chin very low, and Hamed will be looking to lift it up.
Big shots early from Hamed. This man does have a jaw made out of rock. Soto. Hamed says he knows all about Soto's record of durability, but he is expecting the knockout. He's not predicting a round or anything like that, but he says he feels so sharp, so ready, that he expects to put on a very, very big performance. Cracking right hand from Hamed. Only 3 men have ever gone the distance with him. He's won 18 of his last 19 by stoppage. Watch the use of the head, warning for Soto. Big left hook as well from Hamed. Didn't quite land flush. Even Soto's people say he is quite limited and does come in straight lines, but I think the longer it goes, the more dangerous he might become, bearing in mind the stamina problems Hamed seemed to have last time against Paul Ingle.
Well, Hamed staying in close. He's intent on Soto feeling the power of his punch, but he's got to be a little careful. Soto is a good puncher himself, and Hamed does carry that chin a little bit high.
I think it's important that Hamed has it in his head that this might be the long ride tonight.
Break, stop punching. Let go of the man. Don't lock it. Don't lock it.
Soto looking to rough Hamed up on the inside when he gets the chance too.
Break, stop punching.
Hamed's round. He wants to make a statement tonight in America. It hasn't gone well for him in the States so far.
You're looking great shape. Let me tell you something. Sit down. We got that. What you gotta remember, you take it easy. Slow down. You're not working your magic here. Just start playing with the jab a little bit. See, you're shooting all of the big shots. As soon as you start, he's going there. He's going there. He's giving you where you don't get much either way. Start playing with him a little bit. You got so much speed. Sooner or later, he's going to shoot one of them slow shots and you're going to catch him with a counter punch. But start getting your range. Just start playing with him. And once you get to study...
I tell you what's different there. Look how intent he was, Hamed, listening to Emmanuel Stewart's words.
Well, he's proven himself time and time again, Emmanuel Stewart, as probably the best trainer in the world, and I think that's why Hamed has brought him in. He needs somebody to listen to, I think.
And his advice was to use the jab a little more, not let all the big punches go at once early. Use the speed and the angles. It might be a dismantling job, this, for Hamed.
Stewart realizing what a very good defense Soto has, so he just wants him to try and bring Soto out of his shell, let him bring his arms out so he can find the gaps in the defenses.
Tell you what, Soto could be dangerous with the head, couldn't he, with this style of his. Comes down with his head almost charging in first, bull-like. As you can see, he's taller quite significantly than Hamed. Oh, big left hand from Soto. Hamed took it all right, but was wide open for it. Oh, goodness me, there was a scare.
Well, that's exactly the danger that Soto presents. Hamed just being a bit too confident, waiting there with the chin up and caught with a big, big shot.
He might have just managed to ride it.
Well, he doesn't want to ride too many more.
Danger signal flashing there. Hamed not using his speed as much as I thought he would against this kind of opponent. Not giving him as many angles as I thought. Looking very compact, Soto. You can see why he's proved so resilient in his career. The man who's been fighting since he was 15, his first fight for 100 pesos, about £7. He said he bought chewing gum with it.
Good left hook from Hamed there.
And again, the left hook working for Soto, who's getting closer. And Hamed's defence, not for the first time, looking less than perfect. Sometimes still leaving himself off balance. And again, there's that left hook, a little grin from Hamed. But this hasn't been a bad round for Soto.
No, he's done well. He's managed defensively to stop the punches from Hamed and land with his own.
His feet.
Hamed has to be wary of the left hook. Soto is a good left hook, and that is the punch that you do look to land against the southpaw.
One more time.
Warning for Soto, and he's going to get a point deducted. It's getting quite rough in there. Liberties being taken. I gave that to Soto. What about you, Glenn?
Yes, definitely. I think you had to give it to Soto. He was the one tucked up. Hamed didn't get through with any of his own.
Like nearly all Mexican fighters, used to be a street fighter, comes from a big family, 9 brothers, 3 sisters. Miguel Diaz, the trainer. Emmanuel Stewart and Oscar Suarez in the corner for Hamed. Another problem for Hamed, of course, is in his last 4 fights he's had hand trouble. He's hoping that they hold on tonight. There's that left hook.
Yes, you were right. He was just going away from it, which would have took some of the power. If he'd went under that punch, that could have been very destructive.
Could have been the end of the fight, actually.
Could well have been.
But it wasn't. He did ride it. He does have these hair trigger reactions, Hamed. Here's the 3rd round. Big featherweight unification match. The WBO champion and the WBC champion. Some people have knocked Hamed's opponent, saying most of them were just on the slide when he met them. Well, this guy isn't. He's right at his peak. He's just become world champion back in May.
The problem for Hamed, maybe trying to land the jab. If he throws it, he's going to land a hit against the top of the head of Soto, and that could damage his hands.
Soto looking as if he might be dangerous. Little right hand was a good one from Hamed. There were 2 of them as well. Soto just pushes him away almost nonchalantly. One thing Soto will not be is fazed by Hamed's reputation and charisma. Good sharp little left hand by Hamed, looking for these little counters as Soto tries to come in on him and close the range. But the signs early are that he might really have to work for this.
Yes, it's going to be difficult for him to get through the defences of Soto. I think that's his first problem.
Again, the left hand of Soto.
Hamed really looking to get a lot of power into that left, but it didn't quite connect.
Now After all those knockouts in his career, Hamed's last 2 fights have gone 12 rounds and 11 rounds. Is this going to be another long-distance affair?
First one that takes a punch of that break is going to get a point off. Now, box.
Well, the referee just saying the first one who lands a punch on the break is going to get a point taken off.
Taking no nonsense. Dale Grable, the referee.
Shots up, shots up.
Just trying to find the room to get his punches on.
Off his head, off his head.
Again, the left hand, and he's open for that.
Stop,
Hamed.
stop.
Not much in the round, was there?
There wasn't. That was a close one. Both had a little bit of success. There was a lot of holding and pulling in close, and that's what the referee wants to stop. Here they are. Hamed just holding, just pulling the arms in, just getting a little bit rough in there.
You got to be stretching and doing it. Stanley, keep working at it. You're falling apart mentally because the man cannot think this, but you're doing too many things to him. He used to keep him straight, and every time he punches, let him miss completely. And keep turning, y'all. You're bringing him down systematically. Fighting a good fight. That was the best round. And I always know where he is. Know where you're at. When you're there, when you can do what you want to do.
Well, they seemed happy with that last round, but Soto looks very much a factor in the fight after 3 rounds, very much. And you do worry about those left hooks. Some have been whistling past the chin, a couple have been landed. Will he land flush with one? And if he does, what'll happen? Soto has got 39 knockouts to his name in his 53 wins. He may not be a lights-out puncher, but he's a hurtful one. 4th round.
Getting that head coming down from Soto.
Don't push him off, Nas. Break! Break! Stop punching!
Hamed could be engaged here in a long, grueling war with this Mexican. It's not the sort of fight he's had too often in his career. Just dabbed away at his right eye. They seem to take a knock, as if their heads had clashed. No cut.
There was 2 decent uppercuts in there from Hamed. That's the punch he's got to try and find. Lift that chin up.
He may well have to use his speed and boxing skills to do this job, Hamed. And if a knockout comes, well, that would be a bonus. That's the way it looks at the moment.
Well, the referee's having to work hard in these clinches. Neither one wants to let go.
Soto getting it with a right hand, and there was an illegal sort of rabbit punch in there as well from him. Tell you what, Soto's going to like all this close quarter mauling and spoiling. You'll be thinking that it may slow Hamed down and weaken him for body shots and body attacks in the later rounds. But what worries me here for Hamed is he's not proving as elusive as you'd like against this fellow.
No, he's got to try and be close to hit Soto. He's not. Soto's got a very good defense, hands well up, chin down. It's difficult for Hamed to get through to him, and in doing so, he's having to stay close.
Getting messy.
Point. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Point. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Hamed.
Point. Wait.
With a point deduction for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, I think Hamed has been guilty of holding when they're in close, and he turned away then as he was holding.
Well, he did warn both fighters, but this referee is obviously one to take absolutely no nonsense. There's another little problem for Hamed. Can he keep his concentration and his composure in the face of all this? Sometimes has the look of a man who gets a little frustrated if that big knockout won't come. That was a punch after the bell, and Hamed there wants to engage Soto. Shouted abuse at him. didn't look happy. But Hamed with a point knocked off. I would say at the moment this is not going to plan.
No, it's not. He's getting a little bit frustrated by what's going on in there. And I think also maybe the strength of Soto is been a lot for Hamed. He's trying to hold in close.
Yes.
Holding. Excess from Hamed.
Veteran of 62 fights, Cesar Soto.
The one that was in the center. Yeah, okay.
Don't worry about the stamina with him as well. He's been 10 rounds, 20 times or more. A reminder there of the Lewis Holyfield rematch coming up soon. You'll see that on Sky as well. Round 5. Black trunks, remember, Hamed, the red of Cesar Soto, the WBC champion from Mexico, and Hamed says he wants that WBC belt. He regards it as the most prestigious one. But he really will have to work for it here, I think.
Manuel Diaz, you may just hear screaming. He's using his shoulder, and I think he really was doing that, Hamed, in the clinch. He was just pushing his shoulder into Soto's face. So there is a few problems in there for Hamed.
And he's wrestled Soto to the floor this time. And Soto's absolutely furious about that. Hamed's got to be careful. What's he doing here, the referee? It's another point deduction now for Naseem Hamed. Because that was something out of the World Wrestling Federation. He did deliberately trip Soto. Well, things are going wrong for Hamed here. There's no doubt about it. 2 points off already, which is the equivalent of giving away 2 rounds. Couldn't argue with that really, Glenn, could you?
Couldn't. I think the disturbing thing is you've got to read why is Hamed doing this. He's not comfortable in there. Something is worrying him, and he's having to resort to tactics that he doesn't normally do.
He's frustrated. And Soto just looking strong, chugging forward in his own way. Hamed's jab is not really being snapped out either. It's a sort of pitter-patter range-finding thing. We're not seeing many of his heavy shots. He's not managing to get off with combinations. Haven't seen any of those corkscrew uppercuts. I suppose there's always the danger too with a new trainer that he makes little variations on the style and you get a kind of hybrid version, but this is better from Hamed. Talking to some good American judges beforehand, and they were saying, you know, you should leave Hamed well alone. He was unbeaten, okay. He might have been making the odd error, but he was getting the job done every time. What do you think, Glenn?
Well, I think if you look at the style of Hamed, Ian, there's not too much difference here. I mean, Hamed's it's very much the same as normal, hands down, you know, looking for reflex punches. You know, it's not a different style.
I'm just wondering if he's trying to remember a couple of things that Manuel Stewart might have put into his head. Just looks as if he's a character in search of the plot a bit at the moment in there.
Stop!
So what are they going to do about this?
But he's butting him. He's going to get this. He's
Now Emmanuel Stewart is involved in a row in centre ring now. Look at this with Miguel Diaz, the trainer of Soto. I think Stewart's a bit fed up that his man is the one getting the deductions, and I tell you what, they're losing it a bit in this corner. I've never seen Emmanuel Stewart doing this.
Keep him off balance, that's all.
Well, I think that's frustration in the camp altogether. He's not being allowed to do the things he normally does. And look at this. This really is. I mean, he's trying to do a little bit of damage there. And that was very, very intentional. He was low, he was at fault, and then he was the one that did the throw.
And his boots nearly landed on top of Soto as well. It was deliberate. 6th round. It's a messy fight. But there's intrigue here, all right. With 2 points deducted, the possibility arises around the halfway stage that Hamed might be in some danger of losing his unbeaten record. Here's how Glenn's scoring it.
Well, that's how I've got it. It would have been a 10-9, but you've got to give him a 10 here with a deduction. So 46-49 in favour of Soto. So not looking good for Hamed at the moment. He's got to try and get his punches on. He can't get his jab working. That's a problem for Hamed. You know, normally a good sharp jab, that isn't having any effect whatsoever. So he's looking for single punches. And Soto, with a good defense, isn't allowing him to get through.
He just looks a bit flat to me. Glenn.
Yes, he just hasn't got that spark, but I think that's mainly because Soto is making him look flat. It's a good performance from Soto, keeping himself nicely tucked up, giving nothing away.
Soto will really be believing in this roughhouse of a fight, which might suit him best, that he can be the first man to beat the Prince. Hamed has just lost that aura of confidence that have characterized so many of his performances.
Well, we wanted a very good performance here, but again, comes to America and he's not getting the performance he wants.
He so much wants to be regarded as one of the great fighters when the historians judge him. But he's a long way from that on recent displays. And now I think that was purely accidental. I don't think that was a case of Hamed pushing him over. I think, in fact, Soto might have made the most of that, almost football style. That would be wrong if there was any point deduction there. That was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, no question.
Time and time again, Hamed is going very, very low. And there is a great danger that the heads are going to clash.
Especially with Soto's style. He got a little caution from the referee, but he's had no point deduction so far. Soto likes the brawl. Hamed would prefer to be on the outside, peppering home fast combinations, but he hasn't been able to do that at all. It's been a pretty nightmarish opening 6 rounds, in all honesty.
He slowed down.
For Hamed in his first 6 rounds with his new trainer.
He's had you're in unbelievable condition. Unbelievable. This time, let's go right-handed for a minute, okay? Let's go right-handed for a minute, okay?
Yeah.
Because he slowed down. What round is... Oh, good. We're okay. It's over the first half. So you just take all the rest up going down the stretch. He's slowing down, though. He's slowing down in just a matter.
Well, the Soto camp must be fairly happy because they've just knocked Hamed out of his usual rhythm. That swagger is not there, is it?
Well, it's not there, but I don't think Soto is that happy. I mean, it's a struggle for him as well in there. You know, it's a lot of rough tactics. It's not a good fight. And I think they were a little complaining here, the way Hamed punched them down, and maybe the right leg or the left leg, did he look to fall on Soto?
7th round into the second half of the fight. No sign of the knockout that Naseem Hamed thought he would get, even against this man who has never been stopped. Soto has shown his durability before as well, lasting the distance with the likes of Victor Rabanales a couple of times. A very heavy puncher. But Soto beaten by our own Duke McKenzie when he was 18 years of age in London in a World Bantamweight title fight.
Shots up, keep shots up.
Just like to see Hamed up the tempo a little.
Yes, I thought that the first round was his best round. And Emmanuel Stewart wanted him not to do that, to be cooler and lay back. And that hasn't worked. I think maybe he's got to go all out, try and push Soto on the back foot and land his punches.
But that's what I meant earlier when I was talking to you about the new trainer and new advice. he's just not doing his usual thing for whatever reason.
Yes, I think that was a definite point in the first round where he just laid back. He was a little calm, where the first round he really went to try and land good punches. He's never done that since the first round.
Get off his head, get off his head. Step back clean. Shots up, get shots up, sorry. Watch out for her. Break, break.
Ahmed has to hope too that his stamina is okay after appearing to fade late on against Paul Ingle when he boxed much better than this in the opening 7th round. This is more like the old Hamed, turning his hand cleverly.
Stay off his head. Stay off his head.
Still getting a warning from the referee. Stay off his head. He is looking to hold a great deal, Hamed. Looking to tie Soto up whenever he can in close. I don't know, there could become a great danger of somebody getting thrown out here.
Low blow from Soto. There's plenty of cautions, but no deduction. Sure, something noted by the Hamed camp, who've had 2 points knocked off. Oh, again that left hook. Hamed caught on the ropes. It's turning into a real struggle, this.
Break! Stop punching!
He needs one of those rocket launches now, maybe like never before. And that's a great shot, that left hand from Hamed. And there he goes, looking for the old trademark uppercut as well.
Break!
Better shots from Hamed. This is better, quicker, better tempo. Stepping it up, just making Soto look a little limited, and that's Hamed's round, I think.
Hey, David!
So how's this being scored now, do you reckon?
Have somebody clean
It's hard to know how the judges might be scoring this, because the rounds are messy, aren't they?
They are very messy. Hamed starting on my count just to come back into the fight. I had to give him the last round, or the last 2 rounds, so he's just getting it back, but it's still, he's not getting it back good. It's a messy fight. He's looking to hold too much. His work isn't clean. That's how I have it. 67 to Soto, 66 to Hamed. Just starting to pull it back with those last 2 rounds.
Yeah, I've got something similar to that as well, Glenn. Now there's trouble in the crowd going on. There's a minor fight going on in the cheap seats, the $27 seats. Away from me, it's only a few idiots involved. Let's watch the real fight. It's much more interesting in the ring. Here's the 8th round.
I think that's coming from the frustration outside. It's coming from the frustration inside. Not a good fight, and you've got a lot of mauling and rough stuff in there.
Hamed has to do something about winning these rounds now. I think he has to get it into his head that this is a 12-round points job in all probability. Has to do enough to win each round. Because Soto may well be ahead at this point. Glenn and I think so, anyway.
Well, Hamed staying in close far too much instead of using his good movement and letting Soto walk onto something.
Good hand speed from Hamed.
Break, stop punching.
I think there was a lot of pressure on for this fight, both for Naseem Hamed and Emmanuel Stewart. They admitted as much when I spoke to them in London before they came out here, saying they'd got things to prove. Their reputations were on the line. So what kind of reviews will they get for this performance tonight? Now he's gone down again there, Soto. There seemed to be a body punch involved in it as well at some point, but no authentic knockdown. Just scored as a fall. And I don't know whether Soto's maybe being a little bit clever with some of this now, with Hamed having had 2 points deduction and looking for the canvas.
Well, it is a very physical fight, and they are being pushed and pulled about.
Didn't see anything illegal from Hamed that time. He certainly deserved that 2nd point deduction he got with the wrestling.
This is better. This is what I think Hamed should start doing, just moving his feet a little bit. using the extra speed he has, and let Soto walk onto something.
Yeah, give him more angles. That's better pace. Use his boxing skills. He's not maximising the advantages he has over Soto so far.
Head. One more time.
One more time, if you use your head, Soto told, you get a point off. But I think this is better from Hamed now. He's fighting a better strategy.
Stop, stop, stop.
I think that could be a point for Soto for the head.
Yeah, he was warned about it. And so Soto has a point deducted now.
Box.
The third point deduction for transgressions of the Queensbury rules here.
Break! Stop punching! Stop punching!
Good little right cross on the inside from Hamed. Again, he wins the round, and he's beginning to claw it back on the cards. I think that has to be a 10-8 round for Hamed, with the point off for Soto as well. He won the round, and an extra point off for Soto for the head work makes it 10-8, and I reckon Hamed might just have nosed ahead, possibly, after that.
Yes, I think that's earlier in the fight. This is showing some of the wrongdoings that's gone on here. Well, I mean, really has been an awful fight in that way. Very, very messy.
I mean, Big Daddy would have enjoyed it in there, wouldn't he, in his heyday? Some of the...
There's the head going in from Soto.
And then a low blow as well, for good measure. Did you see the low blow on the end of it?
Yes, and I think that's when the referee definitely had to give Soto a point off.
9. 9.
So boxing's equivalent of the yellow card has been waved 3 times in this contest, twice to Hamed and once to Soto. This is the 9th round.
Stop punching. Stop.
Hamed winks at his cornerman. Better tactics now from Hamed. Much better speed from him.
What?
And beginning to make Soto look ordinary. Blood coming now from the nose, by the look of it, of Soto. Hamed at last seems to be getting it right, but he still has to watch Soto's left hook.
He maybe feels he's starting to get through to Soto a little bit.
Let go, man. Let go, man.
He looks now much more comfortable. Less of that worried frown, couple of winks to the corner. But why didn't he use this strategy from the start?
I'm not sure. There seemed to be that he wanted to stand with Soto, use the strength and make it a brawl, and he's got so many good skills and fast reflexes.
It was about this point in the last fight against Paul Ingle that Hamed, almost within the space of a few seconds, just seemed to run out of energy. And those are good shots again from him. He does throw the shots from unconventional angles. He's on his toes now, and a sign of his growing confidence is the little shuffle. You have to give Hamed credit. He has reigned for 4 years, and although there have been dodgy moments along the way, he's always found a way to hold on to his title. He may be finding a way here to pick up the WBC title as well.
Well, I think there's never been a fighter going who just goes through a full career without a few bad moments, and Hamed has had a good career, and as you said, there has been a few dodgy moments, but he's come through and he's still a great champion.
Looking much looser now, Hamed. In short, looking like his old self.
Get off him. Break.
Soto again lunges to the floor.
Don't wrestle. Stop. Stop.
Hamed wins the round. no question about that. He's outboxing Soto now.
Foul, fire.
But he could have been doing this from the word go.
You may have broken his nose.
I know ya.
Huh?
Wipe me nose.
You got blood all over you.
Look at that, managed to have said you may have broken his nose.
Well, I think he felt he had. I think he thought himself he'd caught Soto with a good punch. A lot of blood around the nose. Maybe he just felt in Soto's demeanor that his strength just slipped with those punches.
Difficult for Soto now. But at last, Hamed is using his skills, his quicksilver skills. There's his dad looking on. He took a big part in getting Hamed back on the right path with his public relations a year ago. Almost read the riot act to him, and Hamed has responded to that magnificently, it must be said.
And the referee still trying to prise them apart.
Now he's talking, Hamed, and gets a warning about that. He'd be very wise, really, not to incur the referee's displeasure anymore, having had 2 points deducted. You're absolutely right. With this referee, it was a tough one, and this kind of fight, a disqualification would not be out of the question.
Well, to be honest, I don't blame the referee. I think a weaker referee, this would have been a complete farce. The referee is trying to be very strict, but needs to be there. There's a lot of infringements in this fight.
Now, does Naz's stamina hold good this time? He's been pounding the roads, something he didn't always do earlier on in his career. He's conditioned himself in the United States for 7 weeks. Does he get the payoff in these late rounds now? So he's making Soto look here now as if he's really laboring forward, making the Mexican look ponderous.
Still not a great deal of good scoring points, a lot of holding inside, a messy fight.
Damage underneath the right eye of Hamed, whose reflexes get him out of trouble from that attempted left hook from Soto.
Soto missing more and more, and his work becoming ragged, and this is where Hamed's got to look to get his punches on.
Don't think these two will be on each other's Christmas card list. One or two boos now coming from the crowd. This is not what they like to see in the United States, as we saw recently in the Oscar De La Hoya Trinidad fight when De La Hoya was on the run for the last 3 rounds. They like to see the fighters standing and trading. But Hamed, I think, is using the right tactics now.
Yes, he's landing with the better punches. There's not a great deal of them, but he's still the cleaner.
And keeping himself out of trouble, getting less involved. But you have to say, is it wowing the Americans? No.
Most definitely not. This has not been a good fight to watch.
Once he
Far
gets
too
into
physical.
the damn 12th round, it's going to be hard to knock him out.
Relax, Habib. Relax.
You know, you make it and miss by stepping off to the side, good, but then after that, go right to him after that. Try to come up through the middle. You understand? Listen very carefully.
Right now.
2 rounds to go, and they must concentrate now on just getting that W, the win in the column.
Well, I think that's the important thing. He's got to look to pick punches, use the lateral movement, use his reflexes, and make Soto look silly, and have a good last couple of rounds to make sure of a win.
3 American judges, Michigan, Illinois, and California. 3 states involved in providing judges for this contest. in front of a very good crowd at this Joe Louis Arena, named after the great heavyweight of the 30s and 40s. 11th round. This has been a round favoured by Hamed in the past for finishes. He did it against Manuel Medina and Paul Ingle last time when he was in trouble too. Hamed may have critics of this performance, but sometimes when you're a champion you have to come through rough, dirty fights like this and show you can prevail. And at the moment, Hamed seems to have things back under control. He definitely didn't at the halfway stage. But again, he just hasn't been able to show the Americans that really electric form. A good right uppercut there. Just seemed to hurt Soto for a moment there. His legs just stiffened.
He's trying to find the gaps to get those punches in, but Soto just closes the range down, doesn't allow Hamed the chance to work.
Hamed is having to show a fair bit of grit here. There's no doubt about his bottle and guts as a fighter. He's shown that in the past, coming back against Daniel Alicia, particularly in that Kevin Kelly fight as well. It's been no classic, but I don't think they'll care too much about that if they can pick up this WBC title and take the thing on from there.
Stop, stop. Watch your hand, watch your hand.
I think, to be honest, Glenn, he'd be relieved to get away from this with the win, won't he, Hamed, now?
I think he will. It's just been a tough night. You know, he hasn't getting going in any way. The punches haven't flown. He hasn't found the gaps. And I think the win will be foremost on all their minds.
Hamed has taken control, though, in the second half of the fight, with improved speed and fluency.
Still will be interesting to see how judges score, because this fight, there hasn't been a lot of clean punches thrown. It's really open to interpretation.
And the American judges do tend to score a bit more for aggression. They might like the walk-forward style of Soto, even though he's not been landing very much, to be honest with you, in the second half of the contest, after many successes with the left hooks early on. And again, look at this, he's wrestled to the floor once again. Crowd not liking it. Hamed picks him up here, worried about what the referee might say, and this is all getting a bit ridiculous, isn't it? I think they want to have a love-in over there this time. Look at this.
Well, I'm not sure what that's all about. Hamed just trying to say it's all in. Well, you know, it's all in the best possible taste, but it certainly isn't.
That's the only punch you're going to knock him out with, trust me. Because everything else, he's got such tight defense.
Stay off the feet. I told him to stay off there. Clean this last round up.
Referee having another word with the Hamed corner. It's been a mess of a fight. No classic, this. Styles haven't gelled very well. But I've got Hamed now in a 4-point lead.
Well, I've got just a 3-point lead on my scorecard. 106 to 103 in favour of Hamed. But as I said, it's open to interpretation. Some of these rounds where the points deducted could go 2 points either way. You know, it just depends how the judges have scored them.
Absolutely, we're constantly surprised. Reference Lewis Holyfield and how the judges might see things. Last round then. Sharp little right hand. But once again, really, for the third time, the fight in America has not seen Hamed at his best. There's no disguising that, whatever spin they might try to put on it afterwards. And there will be those who will say that maybe he's not quite the fighter he was a couple of years ago.
Well, I mean, that would be criticism that could be thrown out. Good left hand there. That looked as if it hurt Soto.
Who grabbed on afterwards and almost pulled Hamed down with him. Was a good left hand too.
That was a good shot. He did look as if he was going for the knockdown there and grabbed the hold of Hamed.
There's no doubt this fight, as the top of the bill, has been completely upstaged tonight by the McCulloch-Morales battle which preceded it, which was a wonderful exhibition. I make the point again, sometimes you just have to get through nights like these. Good left hook again from Hamed.
Break.
Referee's been the busiest man in there.
Off his head. Step back clean,
Oh, I'm sure this has really been a nightmare for the referee. He's had to work so hard in there.
I'd have to say he's done a pretty good job as well, trying to keep control of it.
Watch your head,
Yeah, he's earned his money
Come on, bring it up. Finish, gotta win it.
There have been times when it's resembled a wrestling match.
Well, we know we've seen so many fight styles can't clash. And what should be on paper a really good fight just do not gel and become like this one.
But this time Hamed's stamina has held out.
Come on. Finish up.
It's going to go to the scorecards by the look of it, this. Boos ringing around the arena. The crowd have not enjoyed it. They had such a success in getting the fans into this arena. Good-looking crowd here. But they haven't seen a great fight. It's been attritional, dirty, messy, spoiling. And there goes the bell to end it. Hamed throws his arms aloft. Soto does not. Hamed's camp celebrate, but we must wait for how the judges saw that. I think Hamed did win the fight, and I think he won it cleanly because I think he pulled away in the second half of the contest. Now Soto's starting to celebrate. I think his corner have told him to go through the motions. But you're right, Glenn, this is one that might be open to some interpretations we hadn't thought about.
Yes, I think it might, especially with the point deductions. It's how they viewed them, whether it was a 1 point, whether, you know, if they scored it for a win, it could have been a 2 point. There's Harold Lederman's card. He's gone for Hamed, 116, 109, quite a big
wide,
win there.
That's wide. I've got it by 5 points to him in the end, but I think the Mexicans will think they might have done it because Soto kept coming forward. It'll be like that old fight between Pernell Whitaker and Julio Cesar Chavez.
Well, I've got it by 4 rounds for Hamed, so everybody seems to think that Hamed is just getting it.
Well, they've already started celebrating in the corner. It looks like, once again, Hamed might have come through. Soto does not look happy. He was the recipient of effectively 2 points for Hamed transgressions. Soto with a point deducted himself. These are the point deductions. That was the first one, sporting misconduct by Hamed. Then the wrestle, like that, 2 falls and a submission. Second point off for Hamed. Then in the 8th round, Soto, use of the head and a low blow for good measure.
Well, he's looking for a bit of applause from around the crowd, but not really getting a lot of boos going out. They weren't impressed with his performance.
So, are we going to have controversy on the scorecards again here? What has happened? Mayhem. And it's taking quite a time to tot up the scorecards. Hamed's being lifted aloft. Ignore all of this. Let's just wait for the decision. Here it goes now. Here it comes now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the Budweiser scorecards. The winner will be the unified WBO and WBC champion. Mike Gliena scores it 114 to 110. Chuck Hassett scores it 115 to 110. And Dario Charino scores it 116 to 108. for the winner and still undefeated from Sheffield, England.
Hamed has got it.
He is the WBO, WBC Featherweight Champion of the world, Prince Naseem Hamed.
Hamed does win by the kind of margins that we imagined. 4 rounds on one card, 5 points on another, 8 points on another card. He wins the fight, but I don't think he'll win too many rave reviews, particularly in the United States, for the performance in what was a mess of a fight. But give Hamed credit, he did show the grit, his stamina held up, and in the end, he's got the job done.
Yes, you have to give him credit for that. He did what he had to do. You know, he's still the undefeated champion, and that's the most important thing. He showed grit, he showed determination, but the thing they wanted to do was really capture the American fans, and they for the 3rd time, they've come, and it hasn't happened.
I will say as well, there's no shame in not knocking out or stopping Cesar Soto, because nobody has ever done it. I thought it'd go to points, and it has. And he prays to Allah. That WBC belt means the world to Naseem Hamed, believe me. He believes it's the most prestigious. Now he's got 2, WBO and WBC champion. Where does the story go next? I'm going to try and get in the ring to have a word with Prince Naseem Hamed, but I think, let's see it. First of all, Larry Merchant's going to have a chat with him from the American TV people. We'll try to tune into that for you any moment now, amid all the chaos, the usual chaos. You know how it is. Here we go.
Congratulations, Naz. First of all, the question everybody wants to know the answer to, why was this such an ugly fight?
Now, whoa. I'm not saying it wasn't an ugly fight, because it was a very ugly fight. Can you, easy baby, easy. I'm coming too close now. The fact of the matter is, this guy made it such an ugly fight. I came to punch, he knew I was a hard worker, he wanted to grab me, put his head in me. He didn't know that I've got a heart of an Arab. A heart of an Arab, a heart of a
Did you feel he was trying to rough you up to get you upset into his kind of fight?
I'm saying no fighter in the featherweight division is not strong enough to rough me up, but he did. He tried to rough me up, he tried to school me, he tried to bully me, but he couldn't do that because I had him. I broke his nose in one of the shots off the clinches because he tried to knock me in the clinch, butt me in the clinch, hit me his elbows, everything.
All right, but there were 2 points taken away from you.
Baby, give me some room. Let's go. Man, I want to breathe. Let me breathe, Larry.
There were 2 points taken away.
Champ.
There were
Warrior.
There were 2 points taken away from you for fouling. Were they deserved?
Being honest with you, I didn't think there was deserved because the guy was using his head all night and the referee didn't. I don't even think give him a warning. Maybe
but you picked him up and slammed him.
You know why?
Why?
Because I needed to show him psychologically my body strength is bigger than his, is harder than his, is stronger than his, and I did that. And it started mentally deteriorating him.
Do you think, did you do that to show you weren't afraid of him and to intimidate him in some way?
Being honest with you, he just tried to rough me up, and no, I just wanted to show him that he wasn't roughing me up. I'm an English Arab. Listen, it was all God's will. Let me speak a bit, Larry. Damn, let me get a word out, my man. You're too quick to jump. You're always on my case, dog.
You're jiving me.
All right. Wait up. All I want to say is the whole fight was God's will. Whatever happened, as I always say, happened, but the guy made it a horrible fight.
I can't interview God. I can't interview you.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can.
Okay, so what I'm asking you is, were you surprised that in the last 3 rounds, when he was clearly behind, that he didn't really open up and try to change the fight?
No, I did try to open up. The guy,
him. That he didn't try to get to you at the end of the fight.
No, I think he did, but every time I was getting close and I was letting my shots fly, the guy was just like trying to tangle me up, put his head in. He was trying to stand on my feet all the fight. Watch the tape. But he couldn't do that. I've got a heart of a lion. What are you saying, Will? Did you hear that? Heart of a lion.
Yes. When the fight is over, the crowd boos. You're here to please the crowd. How do you take that?
Being honest with you, I'm not upset about it. I may be a little bit disappointed at this moment in time, but what the hell, I'm the WBO featherweight champion of the world. Listen, I'm 2 times world champion, and I can honestly tell the viewers, especially on HBO, and everybody watched the fight, Sky Sports, everybody, it won't be an ugly fight, my next fight, because this guy didn't really he came to fight, but he came to tangle somebody up, rough somebody up.
Would you want your next fight to be against Eric Morales, who is a completely different kind of fighter and a fighter who is willing to stand and exchange?
Most definitely, maybe, but I'm out there to get all of them now. You see, I beat him, I beat Soto, who beat Espinoza. Espinoza beat Kennedy McKinney. Kennedy McKinney, who did he beat?
And the neck bone is attached to the head bone.
Judy Jones beat Barrera.
Thank you very much, Naz.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
God.
Not even out of breath, or so he'd have us believe. Ian will try and fight his way through the scrum and get a word or several with Naseem. Chris Eubank, a little briefer than Naseem has been there. Please, how did you see it?
The camp that Naseem was taught at in Sheffield, these are very, very difficult people to fight. They're very strong. I mean, he put the blame on Soto there, but the truth is that's the way they fight. They turn, they're very hard to hit. I told Naz before the fight, that's what you need to do. Go back to the age of 13 and do what he was doing then.
I'm going to interrupt you there, Chris, because I'm sorry, we can see Ian has Naseem, and let's hear Ian Dark having a go with him.
Well, here he is, Prince Naseem Hamed. Prince, that's what you always wanted, that WBC belt. It was a rough house, but you got it.
But I love my WBO belt. Yeah, it was a rough house. He tried to rough me up. I wasn't coming to America for nothing. I wasn't away from my beautiful wife and my beautiful kid for 7 weeks. It's good to have that. 7 weeks, and basically be not focused. He tried to rough me up, and he couldn't do it. He basically seen a heart of an English Arab. It was God's will that he couldn't rough me up, and I bust his nose with a nice shot, baby. Trust me.
After 6 rounds, you'd had 2 points deducted.
Yeah.
I mean, were you getting worried at that point?
No, I wasn't getting worried. I knew I was going to win the fight. I knew later on he was going to slow down a bit. But the thing is, he tried to tangle me up and rough me up and use his head and use all his experience, and he couldn't win it. He couldn't. See, every time he tried to do what he did, I beat him, I counteracted him to it, so...
You gave as good as you got as well. I mean, he tried to rough you and you came back at him a bit on that, didn't you?
When that nice body slam came along, it was like just to show him psychologically, you are not stronger than me.
Yeah. You wanted the knockout here. I mean, but Soto's almost impossible to stop. Did you kind of think in the back of your mind it was going to go the points way?
I honestly caught him with some great shots, and I thought I was going to drop him sometimes. I'd take him out. But, you know, I've always said it's all in the hands of Allah. This is what happened. End of the day, God made me the WBC, the WBO champion in the world still. And alhamdulillah, I thank God, you know. End of the day, I've come out victorious. The belt is coming home to Sheffield, England. I'm the featherweight champion in the world. Respect to Adidas, Maxim Muscle. I trained
all right.
for this fight, baby.
Well, it was hard fight for you to shine in the way you would have wanted, though, wasn't it?
I'm going to be honest with you. The fight itself was an ugly fight, I admit, and the crowd booed, no problem. The next fight, I'm going to shine, and I always say that every fight, but the fact of the matter is, he didn't come to make it a pretty fight. He came to make it a rough house, and that's what he got, and that's how he got dealt with.
Still champion. Thanks a lot, Naz. Thank you. Cheers.
Well, I find it hard, personally, to disagree with much that Naseem has said about his performance there tonight. Quite realistic. When we come back, Nicky Piper, Robert McCracken, Duke McKenzie, and more from Chris Eubank. And we'll look again at the key moments, the important final result, Naseem Hamed victorious. He's done it again, Naseem Hamed, now WBO and WBC World Featherweight Champion. A points winner tonight over Cesar Soto in Detroit. We await with interest to find out what America makes of his performance tonight, Naseem Hamed. But surely an ugly win is better than an heroic defeat. And going back over 100 years, too many fighters from this side of the world have gone over there and been heroic in defeat. Did you enjoy it, Duke?
It was a scrappy fight. It was very scrappy, got very
That's
untidy.
a polite way of putting it.
Well,
it was ugly. Even Naseem said it was ugly.
It wasn't pretty to watch at all. But, you know, he's got the result. You know, he's like a dual champion now, again. And, like I say, Soto, you know, got off to a great start and then just seemed to go to sleep a little and just allowed Hamed to just too much space to just dictate in the fight.
Nicky, did you see Cesar Soto in the early rounds as the biggest threat so far to Naseem Hamed?
It looked that way, didn't it? It wasn't a great fight, and thankfully we'd already had our money's worth with McCulloch Morales. But Soto started the fight in very impressive form, and I really started to worry for Naz, because he was standing in front of Soto, and that left hook, we predicted it in the first round. And the second round, he really landed cleanly, and I thought, oh gosh, if Naz can't get out of the way of these, he's in for a tough night, and maybe a short night, because you know, it was looking ominous for him at that stage.
Was it even more ominous when he started to lose points by deduction?
Well, then he started getting frustrated, and Soto was messing him about, and here we see, yeah, he's just hanging on to Naz. He's sticking his forearm in Naz's face, and Naz is fighting back. Headlock, and the ref had no option but deduct the point.
Robert McCracken, how was Naseem Hamed coping with these interruptions to his rhythm?
I think initially he was getting worried and frustrated, but then he sort of took it in his stride, and I think Soto played into his hands after the sixth round, because Hamed got used to his rushes and pretty much dictated the last half of the fight.
Chris, how did you read this?
Well, that's the style of the camp, the way he comes from. They are grandmasters at wrestling, and that's very good. I mean, listen, don't look at the fact that it may be uncouth. Look at the fact that it's effective. With Soto, keep this in mind, that if Naz was ever in one place for more than a second, even a split second, Soto would have hit him. Naz could hit and move out of the way of being hit because he couldn't pinpoint Naz. Naz is always on the move, and that's why he's such an effective fighter.
Big turnaround in the second half of the fight as Naseem Hamed suddenly seemed to take control. Why for you did that happen, Nicky?
Well, Soto ran out of ideas, and I must say, a shock to all of us. The final words from Duke before the fight was, show me a Mexican that can't cut off the ring. But he couldn't, could he? He had no idea.
Yeah. Naz just found it seemed to find enough range to get out of the way. Once the pace dropped a little bit, Soto just allowed him too much space. You know, look, he's doing pretty much what he wants here now, Hamed, and I really thought that Soto would have closed him down a lot sooner and got his punches off a lot quicker. But he just didn't. He couldn't do it.
It's so very difficult. I sparred with Harold Graham many years ago. Naz comes from the same camp. You can't touch these people. I hit Harold Graham once in 3 weeks. Now, Naz is of the same ilk. As was said to him before the fight, go back to when you were 13 years old. You know, you play coy. I expected Naz to come up the middle with shots. He didn't, but still very quick and very tricky.
One little moment from round 11, the sort of shot that Chris Eubank you were looking for all night. That uppercut.
Yes, that's right, up the middle. But then again, not enough. But then it didn't seem it was needed because of the effective wrestling and being very quick, very short, sharp shots, of which were very impressive.
Could you have seen Naseem Hamed losing that fight?
Oh, absolutely. If the fight had gone from the 7th round to the 12th round like it had the previous rounds, yes, Naz probably would have lost the fight. Naz turned it around by going back to when he was 13 years old and doing all that trickery stuff, the unorthodox boxing, which is what he is very talented at doing.
And as you've so often reminded us so poetically, if you can keep your head when all around are that is to say, if you can do what you have been brought up to do under the pressure, that marks you out. And surely that's what tonight has proved, that Naseem Hamed can do it.
Well, yes, and but he's in a very hot marketplace there at HBO in America. It's going to get tough.
Robert knows the scene in America so well, having sparred and worked over there extensively in the last 2-3 years. How will the American audience view that Naseem Hamed performance?
The general public won't like it. You know, that's not their type of boxing. That's not what they're paid to see. But if you're Naseem Hamed, he's won IBF, WBC and WBO titles. He's pretty much the #1 featherweight in the world. He won't really care about that. He's the champion, that's all that matters.
Do you have a view on how the TV paymasters in America would view Naseem after that performance?
Yeah, I don't think so much they'll be critical, because I don't think they're really boxing people. I think it's the crowd that boos, but at the end of the day, the crowd doesn't really matter that much when it comes to the TV.
Naz sells tickets outside of the ring, doesn't he? It's not so much what he does, he sells what he does outside.
You know, I just think that, you know, at the end of the day, He's the #1 featherweight, and wherever he goes, the crowd will go anyway.
The one thing I would like to say is that, in spite of the fact that the table here seems to think it was a poor fight, or not a good fight, this was a very tough fight.
Oh, yeah.
A very tough, hard fight. And the objective is to win. If they're booing out there, fine, you boo. You just win your match, and that is what the game is about.
Duke,
if you can please at the same time, fantastic. Yeah. If you can't, make sure you win.
That's exactly what he's done tonight. But now he's got 2 versions of the title. Let's not forget that he's already had
the IBF,
2,
sure.
and it didn't work. He couldn't balance and juggle and play the political game and keep everybody happy. There's no reason to suggest he's going to be able to do it this time.
I wouldn't have thought so. I think there was something said before the fight about whoever wins will have to vacate one of the championships. Another interesting point was that I didn't see nothing different there from Hamed. You know, supposedly Emmanuel Stewart had made a dramatic change for him, but I just saw the same things that he normally done.
And to sum it up, Nicky, have you seen any improvement?
No, I haven't, but I must take Chris's point on board. It was a very awkward opponent that made Naz look bad, would have made anybody look bad, so it's unfair to judge Naz on that performance. But like nothing we could see from there said he's improved greatly.
Nicky, thank you. Robert, thank you. Chris, thank you again.
Naz looked good, I'm sorry. He
Okay.
looked good.
And Duke Mackenzie as
That's
well.
what he does. He's awkward. He looks good being awkward.
Thank you very much indeed. I hope very much you've enjoyed it. There's lots more superb boxing coming, and coming soon. Later today, Richie Woodall against Marcus Beyer for the WBC World Super Middleweight title from Telford, Sky Sports 1, Saturday Fight Night from 10. And that will be followed from midnight by the build-up to Mike Tyson's battle with Orlin Norris, the heavyweight scrap from Las Vegas, coming on Sky Sports Extra in the small hours of Sunday morning. Thank you very much for being with us. If you have been with us all the way, I hope you've enjoyed it. Naseem Hamed didn't pretend to us that he'd sparkled, but the important thing, he succeeded. Bye for now.